Hi, welcome to my video on second derivative y double prime. This is video number 3, another example to show you the second derivative. If 4x plus y squared plus 1 over y equals 2, express y double prime as a rational expression, simplified form in terms of x and or y. Let's write down the equation. 4x plus y squared, but let's change 1 over y to the negative 1. The reason I'm doing that, if I leave it like this, I'll have to use the quotient rule. If I change it to here, I use the power rule. So I'm going to do a ddx on 4x, I get a 4. A ddx on 2y squared is 2y, y prime, and ddx here, negative 1 times 1 is negative 1, and negative 1 minus 1 is negative 2 y prime, and the derivative of 2 is 0 because it's a constant. So we have 2y y prime minus y squared y prime equals, I can bring the 4 over and make it negative. Now I'm going to make one, that's a negative there. So I'm going to make this one change. I'm going to write y to the negative 2 as 1 over y squared y prime. Now I have a fraction, or I have a negative exponent, but if we write it as a fraction, you can multiply the whole equation, each part, by y squared, and it will eliminate this fraction. So 2y y prime times y squared is 2y cubed y prime, and 1 over y squared times y squared is just 1, so it's a negative y prime, and negative 4 times y squared is negative 4y squared. So I have the y prime, so what I'm going to do is factor out the y prime, so I get 2y cubed minus 1 equals negative 4y squared. And now I have y prime is equal to negative 4y squared divided by 2y cubed minus 1. So that's the first derivative. First derivative is, everything is okay there. Now let's do the second derivative. And the second derivative is y double prime. It's the ddx on this one, so it's a y double prime. This is the f and this is the g, so the derivative of negative 4y squared is negative 8y y prime times g, which is 2y cubed minus 1. And the quotient rule has the negative of the f, which is negative 4y squared. Now I do the derivative of the g, which is 2 times 3 is 6 y squared y prime, and the derivative of negative 1 is 0. And that's all over the denominator, which is 2y cubed minus 1 being squared. So let's simplify that. Y double prime. Let's multiply this monomial by this binomial, so that gives us negative 16y 4y prime, and a negative 8y y prime times negative 1 is a positive 8y y prime. And now we have just two monomials here, so we got a negative type of a negative, it's a positive, so it's a positive, and 4 times 6 is 24. Y squared times y squared is y4, and y prime, and that's all over 2y cubed minus 1 squared. And we have a y prime here, but the expression has to be in terms of x and y. So that means that the y prime can be factored out. So when I factor the y prime out of this trinomial here, I'll get a negative 16 y to the 4 plus 8 y plus 24 y to the 4th, 24 y to the 4th. Okay, all over 2y cubed minus 1. So just to make sure, I got a y4 here. Okay, everything is okay. Now I notice right here I didn't add these together, but I noticed in here that I can. So even though I didn't do it here, I could have added 16y4 y prime to 24 y4 y prime, but I didn't notice it here, but I do here. So let's make that. I got a y4, negative 16 and 24 is 8y4 and 8y. So everything is okay. And y double prime. Now, y prime is right here. So I'm replacing y prime with this expression here. So that's a negative 4y squared over 2y cubed minus 1 times 8y4 minus 8y all over 2y cubed minus 1 squared. Now I have a fraction here, so if I could multiply this together, or I could I have to get rid of this fraction here. So if I want, I can multiply the numerator by 2y cubed minus 1 and multiply the denominator by 2y cubed minus 1. And let's go up right here. When I do that, that cancels. So I get a negative 4y squared times 8y4 plus 8y. And when I multiply the denominator, I get 2y cubed minus 1. So that's the power of 2, and that's the power of 1, so that's a 3. Now, it says simplify. I have a factor of 8 in here, so I have a negative 4y squared. And I'm going to take out of this expression, I'm going to take out an 8y. 8y is coming out, so that gives me y cubed plus 1 all over 2y cubed minus 1 cubed. And to simplify that completely, I have a negative 32y cubed times y cubed plus 1 all over 2y cubed minus 1 cubed. So that's the second derivative in terms of x and y. But notice that there's no x's here. There's all y's. There's all y's on the go here. There's no x's. But that's the complete factored form. And that brings us to the end of this video. And if you like my video, click on the like button, click on the subscribe button. Visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, to find more information on me, my videos, and the content. And also, that's the content that I have on my YouTube channel called Math Fully Explained in one word. Thank you for viewing my video. Hope the video helped you. Bye-bye.